talk first about Chris's championship, because I haven't seen you react that enthusiastically all that often, but I understand that's blood and that's family.
Well, you know, you go through a lot of matches with your family, and of course Chris, we went through a lot of matches with him, and most of the time you expect him to win. You're not sure this time, you know. You know how the match went down in the Big 12, and you know, held on for dear life in that match, you know. And this match he took control and kept kind of plugging away, and that's what I was excited about, just to see him, you know, get the takedown that he hadn't been able to pick up, and then a tough ride out after getting the takedown, and of course a tough finish, you know. So, you know, I think that is what excites me, you know, and not so much that he won a national championship as much as it was he wrestled the match he needed to wrestle, you know. And, you know, we always tell your athletes, this is what you need to do, and you may get it about 5% of the time. And, you know, and if you get half of it, you're going to win a lot. You know, I got it all from you tonight, and just that's what's enjoyable.
Now, Chris mentioned a moment in his press conference where you kind of called him out in front of the whole team, I guess. He said, you don't understand how hard it is to repeat. I guess at what point did you realize that he finally had figured it out and started working?
You know, I think somewhere in January, you know, we started going back through some inconsistent matches, and you know, you got to wake him up. You know, you got to wake those guys up and recognize that, you know, anything but winning is a failure at the end for you. You know, you walk away with, and you have memories that don't go away the next day. They last for a long time. So, you know, when I called him out, it's to remind him personally, you know, what this means to you. You may not recognize it right now, but in 3 months you will.
Your two champions may be as close to polar opposites as you can get. One is a little defensive and doesn't want to give up anything. The other one doesn't, you know, just goes out for broke and just goes crazy.
You know, Daringer, I thought, did a good job of just, you know, understanding his tactics against this guy. You know, obviously a dangerous guy, very successful. Actually, probably one of the funner guys to watch his Ness in the country. You know, I mean, but you know, I liked that he was aggressive, you know, and didn't shut down on his shots, and finished them, recognized when he could have been in a little bit of trouble, and ended up capitalizing on 2 takedowns and near falls. You know, not just trying to get the takedown without getting flipped, but holding him on his back and gather enough points, and he did that twice in the match. You know, so you know, you get a major decision in the finals that tells you you were ready to go.
Daringer has that pin 26 seconds at the beginning of the year. I asked you about what he's like coming forward. You said he's a gamer. You know, he talks about winning. He talks about winning today. He says that, you know, next year he's looking at maybe 165. What can another weight class for him do for him in terms of just beefing up and getting stronger?
Well, he's beefed up and he's pretty strong now. You know, I don't think 65 is going to be. He'll probably figure out a way of cutting weight there too. You know, I will tell you this: in the big matches that he's been in, I have not seen him as alert as he was tonight. In his entire career, he was there ready to wrestle, and I think it was because of a little bit of he recognized that there was some real danger with this guy. Yeah. You know, and if I'm not awake, you know, I'm going to find myself maybe a step lower than I want to be on that podium. And I was just real pleased with just the way he showed poise out there with his leads, extending his leads. You know, just real poise tonight.
Have you ever coached an 11th seed into the finals?
I've coached unseeded wrestler won the championship.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark Brand. 11th seed make the finals, probably our first. You know, but we've had several in it. You know, it's good. You know, although you finish third and you hope you do better than that, but overall this team. You know, it came together. It lost 5 dual meets, and that's not something that we're used to, and it's sometimes it's humiliating at times, and you can drop your head as a team like us and not gather your strength back up to muster for the end of the year because you've been beat up a little bit as a program. And I think our leaders, Caldwell, was a great leader for me, and just kills me that he didn't win his championship. But the guy did more for us in his 2 years here than he realizes. And Perry, who is so unselfish when it comes to his time and his effort. I mean, he's getting guys ready to go tonight, and he's got a match later. Hey, Chris, this guy's pretty good. Or in the semis, he was telling, hey, Chris, this guy's, let's not take it for granted. So anyway, those are the kind of guys, that's kind of things you like to see in the fun, but I'm really proud, wish it was a different trophy, but golly, that we finished strong, finished hard, and 2 national champions. It's a journey for these kids, and being able to reach that top is really satisfying for them, especially Chris and Bringer.
Now, when Derringer saw Ness earlier in the year, he admitted he was pretty conservative and went to overtime. Tonight was obviously much different. Do you think he learned maybe he didn't have to be that conservative against him?
Well, you make an adjustment. You recognize, do you want to go overtime again? And a little bit of that overtime was the tentative of finishing the shots, and he did a good job of powering through the guy.
Maybe early for this question, but 4 of the top 6 teams are from the Big Ten, and I talked to the Big 12 commissioner the other day. He agrees with you. They got to do something to beef up the conference and beef up that tournament to prepare for this.
Yeah, you look ahead and you recognize that, wrestling's in pretty good shape right now. I think we've stabilized our programs, and it's pretty tough out there. And you want to give your conference the best opportunity, and I hope that we see a different qualifier as we go forward from here, because a 2-day tournament, 2 weigh-ins does make a difference. I didn't think the Big 12 affected us this year. I think it has in the past at times, but I know that a 2-day tournament should never injure you. So, and we need more teams. Yeah. Thanks, guys.